Hey guys, how's it going? Today we will be painting a ceramic pumpkin. It's about that time of year, Halloween. We're here in the middle of October, and well, that just means that like pumpkin spice lattes are on the rise, and jack-o'-lanterns, and just all around Halloween stuff. So, this was included with the pumpkin, these paints. But as you can see, there ain't no green one. So I grabbed a piece of chalk to be able to paint, the stem. Because for some reason, I thought that like the stem was supposed to be orange. But that's okay. We'll start painting the stem first. Let's see how it works. Not too well, to be honest. But anyway, it's better than nothing, I'd say. Ain't showing up too well. Well, that's okay, I guess. We begin, then, with the black, and we will paint, like the mouth, nose, and eyes. Let's see here. Been a little while since I painted something. I did a video like a few years ago where I painted a styrofoam zombie head. And that was pretty cool. Look at that. And that's One-Eyed Willie the jack-o'-lantern. Or also, I bet you could call him like One-Eyed Jack, the jack-o'-lantern. And he can be only seen wandering the streets during Halloween time. And he will give you extra large candy bars instead of like bite-sized ones. That's the lore behind this fella, I guess. Well, it could be, Folks, looks like we got the eyes done. A little bit of a messy job. But, we'll be painting over it with orange. So it ain't really too big of a problem. Let's see. Let us paint the nose. I'd have to say, I really enjoy this time of year. I suppose a lot of people do. But something about the temperature being just right is kind of cool. Ain't too cold, but it also ain't hot. Just about in the middle for like a brief period of time before the dang winter storms start coming and like the roads are blocked off or like filled with snow. and all that crap. Holy crap. Oh, this looks like a skeleton pumpkin now. Seeing as how it's got, like it's all white. Maybe we ought to, keep it this way and we'll call it a video. Just kidding. You know what would be cool? We'll give him maybe a spider web on his face. How do we do that? Let's see. Well, this sort of more looks like a sun than a spider web. But hold on. There's more. Sort of like a second layer. Well, it looks more like a spider than a spider's web. Well, it didn't really work out. And that's okay. Sometimes things don't work out. And that, I guess, didn't. But it's important to keep on going. You know what else ain't working out? This paint ain't really coming off of the brush too well. There we go. Now it's picking up. Suppose I had to kind of put some elbow grease into it, they say. Let us now begin, folks, with the orange. We are tasked with the amazing workload of painting the whole pumpkin's body with orange. No easy task. Let's see. Is it gonna mix with the black? I suppose it will. But that's okay. It'll be unique. That's pretty cool. Sort of like a black and orange pumpkin. So like a perfect Halloween color mix. He's got, like a kick to his design. Something you ain't gonna see anywhere else. And it is what makes this particular pumpkin all the more unique. I always wondered how come they make the costumes so expensive. It's like, man, I'm only gonna be this Spider-Man for a day. But here I am, shelling out $60 for this crap. And the costume rips because you sort of ordered a size down and you're thinking that'll fit. And you put it on, you hear like a rip sound and you're like, crap. Maybe I could have done without eating them 2 pizzas last week. And this spider outfit would have fit. Anyway, now you got a Spider-Man outfit you ain't gonna wear again. Well, I do know a man who, he actually bought a Spider-Man outfit. Here's our progress. He bought the Spider-Man outfit years ago. I'd say as many as maybe 9 years ago. And would you believe me if I told you he wears it every single Halloween? And also, any occasion that calls for a costume. Say they're having like a costume party. Spider-Man. Say they're having like a couple's dance costume extravaganza. Well, there he is in the Spider-Man outfit. Tell you something, that's a pretty dang good way to save some coins. I'm trying to see what I'm painting here. And I'm holding it up a bit. But if I don't hold it a certain way, well, then I can't see what I'm painting. Suppose it don't really matter. We ain't being Michelangelo here. We're sort of just like filling in the pumpkin with a black and orange mixture. And how about it? He's starting to look a little bit like a pumpkin. If he wasn't before, now there can be no doubt that this is a jack-o'-lantern, folks. How many of you guys like to do jack-o'-lanterns? Suppose I do. Sometimes you see the pumpkins in the streets weeks after, where someone, some kind of like hooligan, maybe picked it up and did like like smashed the pumpkin. Pretty good band, that Smashing Pumpkins, folks. They got that song. Well, they got a few songs, I'd say. They got that song, and it's like, the world is a vampire. They got that other one, it's like, despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. I remember the Smashing Pumpkins being on the radio in the 90s a lot. And I was growing up in the 90s. And I think my brother bought that album, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by those guys. That was a pretty dang good album. They had that song, 1979, that was always on the radio. Folks, we're coming along here pretty well. But this guy, his face is almost totally painted. And we may need to break out the second orange container. Now, if I had my way with this, I would say maybe they should have put like a fourth container of paint that was green. But you know what? Also, the stem ain't too big. So that could be like a big waste of paint, folks. So I guess I get it. Here we go. Hold on. But I remembered that there was a few houses when I was growing up that gave out like extra large candy bars. Instead of the standard like bite-sized bars. And I always thought that was pretty cool. Hold on, let's open us up the second container. One time I have an interesting memory of a nice older lady who sort of looked a little bit like a witch, I suppose. And we was out trick-or-treating. We came upon her house, and it was surrounded with fallen leaves that were yet to be raked. Sort of like a sprawling porch, set with jack-o'-lanterns. And it had this mystical, spooky, sort of like atmosphere about it. And we approached the door, cautious, and like, you know, all of that. I believe the door had like one of them things that you smack on. It's like a metal like knob that you like. They probably got a lot of those in the UK, where it's like a ring and you grab it and go clack, clack, clack on the metal. What the hell do they call that thing? I ain't too sure. Anyway, this lady came to the door, and she said, "Hello there, children. Won't you grab some Reese's cups from this bag?" And we're like, "Holy crap, Reese's cups. That's pretty cool. Them are dang good." Anyway, we all grabbed our Reese's cups. We said, "Thank you so very much for the Reese's cups." She said, "But wait, that ain't the only thing. You know, we got another surprise for you." We said, "What the heck? I wonder what it is. Maybe it's a dog or something." She says, "I've got an elevator in my home." Now this house was about 3 stories. Pretty big one. She might have been sort of like what you call rich. Where like she's got lots of that money, you know. And we're like, "Holy crap, that's a little scary. You know, that don't sound like the best idea." Well, we're kind of thinking that to ourselves. And like we look at each other, we kind of say, "Well, we're feeling like taking a risk, I guess," and she seemed pretty nice. After all, them Reese's cups, you know, maybe that's what convinced us. So she brings us to an elevator that's got like an old-fashioned door. The one that's like metal and X's that you pull open to get inside. And I believe that few of us pile in there, but she did not join us. She said, "I'm gonna send you to the 3rd floor." We're like, holy crap. It was kinda exciting. And we slowly start moving up. Slowly but surely. In this small elevator. We're thinking like, man, this is cool. Hopefully when I'm older and like rich and I got a bunch of money, because that happens to everybody, you know, we'll be able to get our own like elevator. Anyway, we was, like made the way up to the 3rd floor. And like, it stopped. We were up there for about a minute. What seemed like 13 decades. And all of a sudden, the elevator started moving downward. And we thought, well, maybe we're going back downstairs. And well, we were going back downstairs. And this elevator trip was refreshing and pretty cool. And the lady was very nice. Ended up being, like a sweet old lady. And she said, "I like you guys." She said, "You've been very kind, and I invite you to visit my elevator anytime you would like, even if it ain't Halloween. Come on back, say we're the kids from the trick-or-treating, and we'll let you take a ride in the elevator." I know I ain't so sure whether or not she just said that to every single people that came over. I'd like to think not, and that we was sort of like special. But I don't know. Well, we never went back there. Not for any particular reason. Maybe just 'cause, like, we didn't, I suppose sometimes you just, don't go back. Now, if you'll believe it or not, that's a true story. And I think the reason she had the elevator was 'cause her husband was like in a wheelchair or something like that. So like the reason they got it, wasn't to like have fun going up and down the floors. Sort of like to help, the husband. But it was nice they let us use it. Well, that was probably at least 18 years ago. Been a while. So I don't really know if they're still there or not. But it was a cool Halloween story. And I sort of forgot about it. But I guess painting this jack-o'-lantern got me back into that Halloween spirit. There's nothing better than painting something and kind of like, letting your mind wander, I guess. Folks, we are nearly finished with this jack-o'-lantern. We will call him One-Eyed Jack, even though he's got two. Sometimes nicknames don't make sense, like when you call a very large man tiny, like that. Folks, here it is. But I believe we'll paint the bottom quick. I didn't notice there is a hollow hole at the bottom of this. Interesting. Now we have to wonder what color we will paint the stem. I believe we'll paint it black. Just on account of the fact that we have black paint left in quite an abundant proportion. Folks are running low on the orange paint. We'll use some from the lid, I suppose. Well, there's some white spots, but that's okay. It ain't like we're selling this in some kind of art gallery in Los Angeles. Let's get that paint off of there. And let's paint this stem a deep onyx color. Yes. And that is a masterpiece. Wonder if there was ever a pumpkin with a black stem. Well, if there wasn't, there surely is now. One of a kind, One-Eyed Jack. The coolest jack-o'-lantern in town, folks. So there you have it. There he is. Looks pretty cool, I'd say. I like how it turned out. And he seems like a cool guy. Folks, thanks a lot for watching this video. Be sure to maybe like the video and subscribe if you liked it as well. But other than that, folks, it's gonna be Dalton out, and we'll see ya for another video.